Welcome to the Harjit and Prayer Show with your host, Harjit and Prayer. Hey, Prayer.
Hey Harjit, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay, man. What's new with you?
Some things.
Some things, huh?
Yeah.
Well, big
So,
things.
yeah, pretty much. So you know what happened, but the reason why we have not recorded in like 2 months is because me and I should say, my family and I moved to Gainesville, Florida, from New York.
Woohoo!
Yep. I got a job with the University of Florida. Started there a couple of weeks ago in their IT department, and it was a good opportunity. So I took a chance, taking a chance, and it's been pretty cool so far. Just
That's
learning about the
awesome.
operation. But yeah, it was an intense move.
Oh,
It had to
wow.
be a very orchestrated set of events to make it go nicely.
Yeah,
uh, but
packing up your old house and
yes.
yeah, you made a few trips though, right, beforehand to which
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, I did make one trip down to look at potential places we wanted to live. So I kind of got the lay of the area and stuff like that. But then after that, it was crazy. The My wife and the girls flew down, but I, with two of my friends, I drove a 26-foot truck from New York to to Florida with all of our stuff, and my two friends drove a car for each of us for each car. One of them had the dog and the cat. The other had some extra items in
Oh
there.
my God.
But yeah, honestly, dude, I was very nervous about having to drive this truck, but it wasn't bad at all.
How long did it take you?
We left Saturday at 6:30 p.m. and we arrived at the house on officially it would be Monday morning at like 1:30 a.m. But we
Oh my
stopped. Yeah,
God.
we stopped, I believe, just south of Washington D.C. And I it was crazy. At that we didn't know where we were going to stop, so I couldn't book a hotel room. So like we
Okay.
stopped. Okay, here's a hotel. Sorry, no pets. So I slept in the in the truck with the dog and the cat.
Oh,
Uh, oh yeah, it was crazy.
oh
So
my God.
yeah, it was interesting, like hearing different people, like, "What are you doing 3 o'clock in the morning?" And I don't want to know. Um, but then, of course, I cleaned up in the room and all that fun stuff. But
Uh,
then we drove the rest of the way, and it's funny. You got to really, the site where we got the truck said the thing is going to get like 10 miles a gallon, and I was like, "Is that loaded or unloaded?" And I couldn't really determine that, but it was getting 5 miles a gallon the whole way down.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we spent double the money that we allocated in gas, and we had to stop a lot because that thing was just going choo the the whole way. It
Oh
was,
wow.
but it was something we had to do, and we wanted to do it, so we did it.
Okay.
Um, yep. But then the next day, my friends flew back. I started cleaning up the house, and I started unloading the truck, and dude, I was so tired, like because for 2 days I was loading up the truck, and I was like, when we left, my body was done. I'm like, I am so tired, and then I'm like picking boxes off the truck, and I'm like, I can't do this, like. And I don't know anybody here except my coworkers, and of course it's the
Right.
weekend. So I'm like, let me do something. I got on the Craigslist, and I just started looking in the services, like labor move section, and I looked for people that would unload. Like, is there anybody that would unload the truck? And I found somebody that responded right away. And then my problem was I needed the cribs were the first thing we packed up, and it's the most important thing I needed. Wasn't thinking about that at all. And there was no way to get from the back of the truck to where the cribs were.
Right, right.
And the girls were going to be at the house later that
That
day.
day. Right.
So I needed that stuff. So I'm like, I'm not going to get this done. So I got a hold of somebody on Craigslist. And so these three amazing guys showed up. I, May May, and Fat Cat. And dude, They unloaded the thing so fast. They were super nice. They put everything where it needed to go. We're renting the house, and so if we decide we're going to get something else in a year, well, I'm definitely going to call them again to take everything out. But yeah,
Levi, man, Fat Cat.
cat, yeah.
Okay. All
So
right. That's cool.
yeah, but yeah, it's been an experience. We knew it was going to be hot, and we like it. But there's a nice air conditioner in the house that's broke the first day we were here, but it got fixed pretty quickly. The humidity is intense. That's something that is amazing.
That's different. Yeah.
To experience. I mean, I took a cardboard box from inside the house that was air conditioned to the garage, and then went back in. I came back out like 15 minutes later, and it was like soaking wet from the condensation.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It was like, wow, that's different.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah,
So,
we like
how far are you from work?
it's 10 miles, but the traffic here is like city traffic.
Okay.
So it takes at least half an hour
Okay.
to get there. But my oldest daughter's school is a mile away, so
Oh,
that's cool. It's
that's not
easy to
bad.
drop her off and pick her up,
Okay.
and I do that on the way to work.
Excellent. Excellent. That's good, man.
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
been learning the culture of Florida.
yeah.
But yeah,
And
and
enjoy the snakes.
haven't
Yeah.
seen any yet. But
Oh,
I'm
there'll be
told,
some in your backyard. Don't worry.
yeah, I'm told that they're here. But we stay out of the backyard and just go to parks and stuff like that. The thunderstorms are amazing. You might see lightning.
Yeah. Yeah.
You saw some before, I know.
Yeah. Wow. That's
So
cool.
yeah, it's I think sometimes I love my old job, and there was nothing about it that I wanted to leave. And I told them like, there's nothing wrong with this. It's just like this is an amazing opportunity,
Yeah, it's a good
and it's
opportunity for you. Yeah.
for my family too. I'm
Right.
like, and
Right.
I don't want to be like 5 years from now, like what if? Like let's take the chance and see what happens.
Yeah, and you're in a good environment and pretty decent weather and stuff. And hey, you don't have to shovel snow.
We don't have to shovel snow. Just
Yeah.
run away
Yeah.
from snakes, spiders, and hurricanes.
Yeah, so you get the opposite stuff, right?
I'll take it. I hate snow.
Yeah.
Sick and tired of snow.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways, that's good. That's good. So what's new in the tech world, tech industry?
dude, I have been like so out of the loop in tech stuff, but I know that there's been a bunch of tech preview releases on SCCM.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some preview releases for the new System Center Updates publisher, which
Yes.
finally there's something out about that. And
Yes.
of course, the typical Windows Ring releases have been coming out.
Oh
But,
yeah, those have been coming out, and now they have for insiders for Windows Server too.
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's now 2 models of licensing for Windows Server as well, which is pretty interesting. Like, you make a decision on how quickly you want to update your
Right. Right.
edition or build, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Well,
But
one of the biggest issues since Patch Tuesday of this month was that there's a bug with a patch that
okay,
has started causing WSUS CPU spikes. And
really?
yeah, so IIS is just, the WSUS pool, worker pool is, just going haywire, and it's basically like crashes your WSUS, and you
hmm
can't patch anything, and stuff like that. So I thought it was kind of on my end, and I did discover it on my config manager server, where I was like, okay, wait, I installed patches on the server, I rebooted, and then noticed these spikes, and there were these steps that you normally take to go into IIS and you know change some settings and stuff to kind of like minimize that, but they
Yep.
were already set.
Okay.
They were set a long time ago, and that didn't change anything.
So like memory pool size
Yes.
and that kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah. The memory pool size and stuff like that. And so I'm like, okay, what's going on here? I'm trying to troubleshooting for a while and stuff like that. And then finally I said, let me check if WSUS is working. And I couldn't open the console. It's
Oh,
crashed. the components in Config Manager was broken, and I'm like, oh, this is not good, you know. So one of the first things I did, actually, I've done it in the past, where, you know what, uninstall the role, uninstall WSUS, reboot, reinstall WSUS, put your your roles back in, do
Hmm.
a sync. And I did that, and I had, ran into one particular error, and then kind of went away on its own. And I said, oh, okay. But the spikes came back. They were still up there.
Okay.
And I opened finally the next day, I opened a support ticket with Microsoft, and I ended up going through three levels of it, three techs. Finally, I got an
Wow.
engineer after a few days from the US, and who, made some changes again into the web config file. He added like a couple of lines and things like that, and that kind of like simmered things down, and so I finally got it back up, and then started syncing for another couple of days. I had to do cleanups on the database,
Yep.
and that took one of my first cleanups was it took like almost 24 hours. And then that didn't
Whoa.
finish, and then I had to do it another day, and that took another like 18 hours and stuff like that. And so then I started seeing everybody else is complaining too, and it became a big issue out there. And, lots of people are complaining. So it's something to do with a Windows 10 patch, a 1607 is one
Okay.
of them. Then there's another KB too that I can't list it off right off my head right now, but it's one of the known issues is the spikes in WSUS. So
Interesting.
we can put that in the video here, and I know I've tweeted it like crazy and stuff like that too, and
Gotcha.
it's in Tech Connect as well. Yeah, so that's the big one.
That's why I wait till the end of the month to apply patches on
Yeah,
servers, just
yeah,
to let everybody else shake it out.
I know, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So what else? Oh, and then we got the big stuff that's coming down next month in your neck of the woods, actually.
That's right, Microsoft Ignite
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Orlando,
It's like in like 30 some odd days, and the big
something like that.
yeah. So
Hmm.
you're pretty close to it. I mean, what are you like 3 hours away or something like that?
Oh no, not at all. Actually, from my house to the airport is 1 hour and 45 minutes. So
Oh
I'm
wow.
guessing, yeah. So I'm guessing that the convention center is going to be around the same
Okay,
amount of
okay.
time. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was further than that. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's very, very close. I
Yeah,
could commute to it every day. I'm not planning on doing that, but yeah.
yeah. Well, actually, our buddy Kenji, who lives in Melbourne,
Hmm.
and he says a lot of people actually travel from his city to Orlando every day to work, and that's about an hour and a half kind of a thing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he said a lot of people work at Disney and things like that, and so
Okay.
but they rather commute back because it's a smaller, you know, peaceful environment, whatever it is.
Near the beach? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and no, that's good. That's great. And, I do these trips to Montreal. It's about an hour and a half,
Hmm.
and that's not including like the border and stuff. Sometimes the border is just 5 minutes. Sometimes it could be 30 minutes, right? But I do this sometimes after work, and you know, come back, drop my stuff off, head up to Montreal for the evening, take care of some
Cool.
things for my daughter, maybe have something to eat, and then come right back. And I'm home,
Nice.
like 10, 11 o'clock at night and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
doable.
Whoa, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Uh, Gainesville is, yeah, that like less than 2 hours from Orlando, less than 2 hours from Jacksonville,
Yeah.
and I think St. Augustine Beach. And I mean, it's in a good location. So, and it's a college town, which I like,
Yeah. Yeah.
which my wife likes too. There's lots of different things to do so far, and finding something new every day. But yeah, I mean, Orlando. That was my first Tech Ed was in Orlando in 2012.
Oh,
And
was it? Okay.
yep, that was, I think, my favorite one. Well, not really, because the next year I met you and the guys. Um, but I mean, it was the convention center is humongous. Like there's a lot of I think there's more walking in that one than any other ones that I can remember because just of the layout and stuff. So you have to really take note of the schedule, where rooms are, especially for this one, so that you can just not kill yourself getting from
Yeah,
place to
yeah.
place.
Because I thought New Orleans was huge, but
That's
I guess
long.
that's
Definitely.
long. It's
Yeah.
definitely yeah. Um,
Yeah, that was an awkward layout as well. But what are you going
right.
to do with all these awesome breakout sessions? You need room for them.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining. You just have to be prepared. And that was my first one, so I was not at all. And so I was in
Right.
between floors and walking from one side of the center to the other, which takes a long time.
Yeah.
So it's good to, if they allowed segways, that would be amazing.
Right.
Um,
But you know what? Microsoft puts on a good show, and they've got all the logistics and stuff they figure out, and time wise, and yeah, I think it'll go well.
yeah, me too.
So we should since we're talking about Ignite and stuff, what do we recommend people talk about? Let's talk about packing, right?
Hmm.
What should they bring? What should they pack from home? What should they not bring?
Well, I'm going to say from experience that your sandals should not be your main mode of
Yeah.
transportation because that is just going to destroy you.
Oh yeah.
Get a comfortable pair of shoes now and break them in, and use that. I mean, you would
Hmm.
be because of it's Florida. You think, oh, it's sandals. It's going to be nice out, but there's
Not during
no
a
matter what,
conference.
you're going to be doing so much walking. Like
Yeah.
it's just good to have a nice, comfortable pair of shoes
Yeah.
and stuff. Another interesting thing about Orlando when Tech Ed was in June was that every afternoon there was a thunderstorm, and I don't know if that's the same thing like in September, but that's a lot of people say like in Orlando it rains a lot.
Okay.
So just be prepared for
For
that.
downpours, right?
Yeah, especially if you're
Yeah.
not going to be taking advantage of the shuttle service, which in the last couple of years it has not run all day, only at certain times.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be walking back and forth outside to your hotel, then you should make sure you're possibly prepared for a incredible downpour.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. That's a good tip.
yep,
So what
especially
about what about
if you're going to be carrying your laptop and tablet around,
oh yeah.
you want to make sure that thing is protected
Yeah.
in the rain. So.
Well, one thing that I usually do when I do my photography and stuff, and I go off to certain outdoor events, and I know the weather can be kind of iffy, I
Mhm.
always pack like a couple of plastic bags and things like that in my bag, and just in case if it rains, I can wrap up my equipment in it,
Good.
and still protect it. Bag can get wet, it's fine,
Yep.
but my stuff is still dry.
So I'm curious, do you check your bag or do you carry it on?
So, which one? My camera bag?
No, your Ignite bag.
I it depends. I've done both.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I've been trying to travel light,
Hmm.
so I'll pack maybe a duffel bag, an empty duffel bag, so I can bring stuff back. Sometimes you pick up a few extra t-shirts and
Right.
things like that. And then I end up checking it in, and I'll use the other bag as a carry-on or something like that.
Got
But
it.
yeah, so yeah, travel light. You're gonna don't pack if you're into t-shirts and stuff like that. You're gonna get a ton of them from the conference center.
Yep.
More than you ever need to last you for 3 years. So.
Agreed. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, so that was one of my first tips that I received when I went to my first conference was back in New Orleans, and people said, don't," and I followed it. I packed just enough for like a couple of days, kind of a thing, just to get
Hmm.
by until the expo hall opened, and I was set.
Cool.
Yeah. So obviously the weather, it's hot, so shorts and stuff like that, but it will get cold inside the conference center,
Absolutely.
so you gotta factor that in and stuff like that. Um, I think other things I would recommend is definitely battery chargers for your devices.
Yes, that's a must because you'll
Yeah,
be using that thing all day,
all
and
day.
the battery will be dead.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So what I've found through my experience through various conferences that I go to, carrying a laptop to try to take notes and stuff, it's very tedious. It's,
Hmm.
you're not sitting at tables. You're sitting on, regular chairs, and you're like, you got inches between people and stuff, and to try to work on a laptop and listen, and at the same time, it's kind of tough. So I've been using my phone to do that.
Okay.
So that's why I bring extra battery chargers. So I'm draining my phone battery pretty quickly, but that's how I do it. I'll grab, pull the slides. You can do that through the app.
Yep.
Take notes that way. I tweet them.
Hmm.
I hashtag them with the conference. I mean the session IDs. Whatever BRK 7511 or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
You hashtag that, and then you keep tagging it with that all the way through.
Hmm.
And when you come back at another time, you can search for that hashtag, and you'll find all your tweets as well as other people that have done it, right?
Right.
So it
That's
becomes
pretty
like a
sweet.
running notes. Yeah. So that's how I do my stuff.
I've been OneNoting everything on my
Yeah.
Surface um, 3, which I picked up from a friend after I left my Lenovo tablet on the roof of my car last year.
Okay.
But yeah, that's been awesome. Just ink everything. I prefer to handwrite and
Okay.
stuff, but at the same time, if I get tired of that, just switch over to the keyboard. But yeah, I don't know how. There's some people that do it on their laptops, and I just don't know how they can like manage
Yeah.
that because it's such like you were saying, it's a tight space, and
Yeah.
you gotta break it out of your bag and put it on you. Like, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. But inking is pretty easy. Yeah.
yes,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah, write notes and stuff like that, and and oh, one of the things I recommend is the Office Lens app, whether
That's
it's
a
on your
cool app.
phone or on your tablet.
Hmm.
And I mean, this app is incredible. You could be like in a side of a screen, and you can capture the whatever is being displayed, and then suck it into OneNote and scribble over it and stuff like that.
Right. So if people don't know what that is, the Office Lens, you take a picture of a whatever. Usually it's a slide or something like that. And what
Hmm.
Office Lens does is it reorientate it so that it's square. And then it saves it into whatever media format you want. So OneNote or OneDrive, and it just does it.
Yeah.
And I think it does. Does it do OCR now as well? Like
Yeah,
recognize
yeah.
attack?
It does
Okay.
business cards, it does documents, things like
Yes.
that. Yeah, it's like
Yep.
basically a scanner.
Yep. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's free.
It's
Do it.
free. Yeah. So what else? Any other tips? And what about entertainment?
Well, there's the if you want to meet people Sunday night, there is a party hosted by the crew.
Yeah,
It's $25. So just search for, I don't know, on Twitter, just search for the crew, and you'll see one of the links there
yeah.
for you to buy a ticket. That's Sunday night, and then you just got to be aware if a vendor is hosting something that is
Hmm.
free. Just sign up for it and go. But Friday night, what I'm most excited for is the night at Universal Studios. I love roller coasters,
Oh, Thursday
so
night, you mean?
I'm sorry, Thursday night. Yep,
Right, right,
I
right.
love roller coasters.
Okay.
So I will be riding them as much as I possibly can. If so, I
You
mean,
and 20
there's no
something thousand people at the same time.
no, dude. It's like, okay, so they did Islands of Adventure in 2012, and yeah, the place was packed, but it's not like the place is designed for like hundreds of thousands of people to go through. And
Wow.
so, for example, I think they had opened up Harry Potter World within like the year.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but it seemed very new. And I remember like entering the ride line and walking without anybody in front of me for like 5 minutes through this maze of tunnels and stuff. to get to the actual ride, which at that point there's nobody in front of you, or if there is, it's only like a 5-minute wait, and then you're on. And so, yeah, you have to walk through that huge corridor of stuff to get to the ride, because there's 1,000 people usually waiting online for it, but then after that, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
And it's mind blowing to me that people will wait in the middle of the day to go on these things.
Oh my God.
Right? Because I've never been to Disney World. I've been to like Great Adventure up north and stuff like that. And so,
Yeah.
you wait 15 minutes, but this is hours at a time, some of these lines. And so,
Okay. Yeah, so that's hosted by Ignite, the celebration party on Thursday night. So that's gonna be something. Yeah, it's gonna be. People are excited.
I'm excited. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I guess that's pretty much it. I guess our next show we'll start covering more Ignite stuff, right?
Hmm.
Maybe we'll segue into transportation or suggestions for sessions for people and
Yeah. This
things
is
like that.
also a good time for you to just verify your hotel reservation.
Yes.
Just make sure that you got the email from, I forgot who the organization is, that you have it there. If not, you need to contact Ignite's registration department to make ask them what's going on with that. That's if you
Right.
registered with your registration stuff.
Right.
If you did it on your own, I would just verify that it is there. You don't want to show up and don't have a room.
So do they have enough park benches, you think, in Orlando?
I think so, probably.
Okay.
Love park benches.
Yeah, you may have to
Yep,
resort to that,
absolutely.
Or your car, maybe rent a box truck.
Yeah, I am driving. I could rent a room on a box truck. That would be funny. Oh man.
Anyways, all right, man. So it was good talking to you, and
Likewise.
let's catch up soon again.
Sounds good.
All right. So until then, I'm Harjit, and you'll find me on Twitter as @Hooge, HOORGE.
And I am Prayer. You can find me on Twitter. My alias is IT Prayer.
Cheers.
Later.
Fork, fork, fork.